Welcome children. Today I am dealing with some numericals on electrostatics. So first one, a metal sphere has a charge of minus 6 microcoulomb. The sphere is having a charge of minus 6 microcoulomb. When 5 into 10 raised to 12 electrons are removed from the sphere. So suppose if you are removing 5 into 10 raised to 12 electrons from this sphere, what may be the net charge on it? So what is the final charge of this sphere? Okay. So what is the initial charge of the sphere? So initial charge of the sphere is given as minus 6 microcoulomb. So microcoulomb means into 10 raised to minus 6. So I am putting like this setup now. So initial charge is minus 6 microcoulomb. Now how many electrons we are removing from here? 5 into 10 raised to 12. That means number of electrons removing I am taking is n. n equals 5 into 10 raised to 12. Okay. Then what would be the net charge? That means how much charge is removing, that we can find out first. So charge removed. So how much charge is removed from the sphere? So charge removed is how much? How will you find charge? Q equals, formula is n into E. According to quantization of charges, Q equals n into E. That means how many electrons we are removing from here? 5 into 10 raised to 12. Into charge of 1 electron. So we have this much electrons and charge of 1 electron is how much? 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. That means this much charge we are removing. Okay, this much negative charge we are removing. Okay, that is equivalent to 5 into 16 will be getting 80. So putting the decimal means we will be getting as 8. So 8 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb. Okay, or we can write like this. So this one I am writing in terms of 10 raised to minus 6. That means one decimal we have to put on the left hand side. So we can write this as 0.8 into 10 raised to minus 6 coulomb. Okay. This minus 7 I am converting into minus 6 and this minus 1. Actually minus 1 means we are dividing by 10. That is the main. So dividing by 10 means we will be getting as 0.8. That is equivalent to 0.8 into 10 raised to minus 6 coulomb means it is microcoulomb. So we can write as 0.8 microcoulomb. So this is the charge removed from this, which one? From the sphere. Okay. But this much negative charge only we are removing. So whenever we are removing this much negative charge, this much positive charge is adding to the sphere. Okay, you understood now? So here, so we are removing this much negative charge. That means 0.8 microcoulomb negative charge we are removing from which one? This minus 6 microcoulomb. That means this much positive charge is including to this one. So removal of negative charge means that much positive charge is adding them. Okay. So what will be the final charge now? Final charge of the sphere equals, what is the initial charge? Minus 6. And we are adding this much positive charge because this much negative charge is removing from the sphere. That means this much positive charge is added there. So minus 6 plus 0.8. That means we will be getting as minus 5.2 microcoulomb. Okay, so this is actually the final charge of the sphere after removing how many electrons? 5 into 10 raised to 12 electrons. That means that much electrons negative charge is removing. So that much electrons negative charge is removing means that much positive charge is added to the sphere. So what is the final answer? Minus 5.2 microcoulomb. Second problem. Two identical charged copper spheres A and B of identical size. So two identical copper spheres are there. So A and B have charges QA and QB respectively. So this QA is the charge of A and QB is the charge of B. A third sphere, so we are bringing another one sphere C of the same size. So it is having same size as that of A and B but uncharged. This C is uncharged but this A and B are charged. So they are having charges. So A is having a charge QA and B is having a charge QB, but this sphere C is uncharged and this uncharged sphere C is brought in contact with which one? Contact with the first sphere. So first of all it is bringing to the first sphere. That means it is bringing in contact with the A and then in contact with the second one. That means first of all we are bringing this sphere near to A and then we are bringing it near to which one? B. So what we have to find out? We have to find out the final charge of which one? A and B. So we have two charged spheres A and B. So A is having a charge QA and B is having a charge QB and we are bringing another one uncharged sphere C First of all, we are bringing this C in contact with A, and then we are bringing this same sphere in contact with the C, and we are removing. Okay. So at that time, what is the final charge of A and B? We have to find out. Okay. So whenever we are bringing a charged body to an uncharged, near to an uncharged body, this charge will be shared. So both the bodies will be getting the same charge. So after sharing, both the bodies will be getting the same charge. So here initially we are bringing this uncharged sphere C near to which one? A. Okay. So first of all, suppose this is the sphere A. So it is having a charge QA. And we are bringing another one uncharged sphere C near to which one? Near to A. So now in this condition, so initially this A is having a charge QA and this C does not have any charge. That means here charge is how much? 0. Okay. Now the new charge. So when it is brought in contact with this charged body A, the charge will be shared. That means the new charge of A, charged body A. So charge on body A. Charge on body A equals, how will you find it? QA plus what is the charge of body C? 0. 0 by 2. That means the answer is which one? QA by 2. So QA by 2 is the charge of this body A after sharing. Similarly, what is the charge on C now? So charge on body C. Body C is also same thing because they are sharing the charges. So initially only A is having charge. So when this body C is brought in contact with A, both the objects will be sharing the charges. That means both will be getting same charge. So this charge on body C is also how much now? QA by 2. So now this body A and body C is having same charge. What is the charge? QA by 2. Now what we are doing is we are bringing this charged body C. Now this body C is charged. So initially it was uncharged, but after bringing this C in contact with the A, now this body C is charged. So now this charged body C is brought in contact with which one? C, the body B. Okay. Now, so initially, so this is suppose the body B. Okay. And the charge of body B is how much? QB. And now we are bringing which one now? C. So now this C is having how much charge? QA by 2. So it is brought in contact with which one? This B. So what will happen now? Now both the bodies will be sharing the charges. That means both B and C. So this body C only. Both B and C will be getting the same charge. Okay. So now charge on body B equals how much? So body B initially having a charge how much? QB plus, so body C is having a charge QA by 2. So take the mean value divided by 2. Okay. That means, so here 2 I am cross multiplying. So 2QB plus QA divided by this 2 into 2 becomes how much here? 4. So this is the charge on which one? Body B. That means what about the charge on body C? So charge on body C also same thing. That is how much here? 2QB plus QA divided by 4. Okay. So in the question they are asking what is the final charge of which one? Body A and B. So final charge of body A is how much? So QA by 2. Okay. So QA by 2 is the final charge of body A. And similarly, what is the final charge of body B? 2QB plus QA by 4. Okay. Similarly, what is the charge of body C? Also same thing. 2QB plus QA by 4. So whenever an uncharged body is brought in contact with the charged body, the charge will be shared and both the bodies will be getting the same charge. Third problem, a charge Q is placed at the center of the line joining two charges capital Q. So here we have two equal charges at two ends. So capital Q at two ends. Okay, and we are placing another one charge small q at the center of these two charges, and we have to show that this system will be in equilibrium if, what is the condition? If q equals the small q, the charge at the center, q must be equal to which one? Minus q by 4. So whenever this small q equals minus q by 4, all these three charges will be in equilibrium. So that we have to show. So whenever the charges are in equilibrium, that means that the net force acting on each charge will be 0. So here we have 3 charges. So net force acting on this charge, that is capital Q. Suppose I am taking this point as A. So this point I am taking as B. So the net force acting at this point A must be 0. Then only we can say all the charges will be in equilibrium. Similarly, the net force acting at this point B also will be 0. Similarly, the net force acting at this point Q, that means here I am taking suppose O. O is the point. So here the net force acting at A, O and B must be 0. So only then we can say that these 3 charges will be in equilibrium. That means the net force acting on each and every charges must be equal to how much? 0. Suppose I am taking this point B. So at point B, so for the system to be in equilibrium, so for the system to be in equilibrium, so what is the condition? So here suppose I am taking this point, so force acting at B must be equal to how much? 0. Net force acting. So net force acting at point B must be equal to 0. Okay. So that means what is the net force acting at this point at B? So here we have another 2 charges. Suppose I am taking this distance as x. So we are keeping this small q at the center. That means what about this distance also x? Okay. So here we have 2 another charges, small q and capital Q. So we have to find out the force acting on this capital Q due to this charge. And similarly we have to find the force acting on this charge, this capital Q due to which one? This small q. Okay. So first of all I am writing this force acting on this capital Q due to this q charge. Okay. So that means what is the formula? 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Coulombs law only. 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Charge, product of the charges, Q into Q. Q into Q divided by what is the distance? X plus X. So 2x. So 2x the whole square. So must be equal to, or we can say plus. We are adding, total force we are adding. Okay. So this is the force acting on this at this point B due to which charge? Capital Q. Plus similarly we have to find which one? The force acting on at this point B due to which charge? Small q charge. That means 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into product of charges. So here what is the charge? Capital Q. So here charge is small q divided by what is the distance here? X square. So this must be equal to how much? 0. That means the net force acting at this point B due to the other 2 charges must be equal to 0. So we can take this point also. Suppose if we are taking this point means the net force acting at this point A due to the other 2 charges must be equal to how much? 0. Like that we have to substitute. Okay. So now one term I am taking to the right hand side. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q square. Q into q is q square divided by 2x the whole square means 4x square equals, this one I am taking the right hand side. So minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q, capital Q into small q divided by x square. So equal terms we can cancel. 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, x square, and 1q and 1q cancelled. So remaining we have q by 4 equals, here we have minus q. Okay, and we need to find which one? Q only. So that means I cross multiply here. So q equals minus 4q, or from this how will you find q? Small q equals minus capital Q by 4. So this only we have to find out. So when this charge small q equals minus q by 4, so at that time all the 3 charges will be in equilibrium. Okay. Fourth problem, 2 point charges having equal charges. So both the charges are having same magnitude, separated by a distance of 1 meter, experience a force of 8 Newton. So here initially we are taking both the charges, both the point charges are in air. Okay, so air or in vacuum. So at that time what is the force there? 8 Newton. So what will be the force experienced by them if they are held in water? Suppose if you are placing these point charges in water, then what will be the force experienced by them? And given that the dielectric constant of water, K indicates dielectric constant. So dielectric constant of water is given as how much here? 80. So dielectric constant of water is 80. So we have to find the force experienced by the point charges. So when we are keeping that point charges in water. Okay. So we have the formula according to Coulomb's law. So whenever these point charges are in air or vacuum, so what is the formula? So we have the formulas F equals 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q1 Q2 by R square. So this is the formula in the case of air or vacuum. Suppose in medium, so this is in the case of air. Okay. So in water or in any medium, so F medium equals 1 by 4 pi epsilon. Epsilon means permittivity of the medium into Q1 Q2 divided by R square. That means 1 by 4 pi into this epsilon we can write in terms of which one? Epsilon 0 and epsilon R. So this epsilon is written as epsilon 0 into epsilon R. So here epsilon 0 is the permittivity of free space. That means in case of air or vacuum. Okay, epsilon 0. And epsilon R is the relative permittivity or dielectric constant. Okay. So here instead of epsilon R we can write which one also? K also. Because epsilon R and K both are same only. So relative permittivity is equivalent to which one? Dielectric constant. Okay. So here I am writing 1 by 4 pi into. So instead of epsilon I am writing here as epsilon 0 into K into Q1 Q2 by R square. Okay. So this is the formula for force in the case of air or vacuum. And this one in the case of a medium. Okay. Suppose we are dividing these two. So when we are dividing F air and which one? F medium. So when you are dividing the first one F air. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q1 Q2 divided by R square. And this one I am dividing means I have to multiply by the reciprocal. That means into 4 pi epsilon 0 K into R square divided by Q1 Q2. That means we will be getting as, so 4 pi epsilon 0, 4 pi epsilon 0, R square, R square. So remaining we are getting as F air by F medium equals which one? Dielectric constant K. So here in this problem it is given that this force in air is how much? 8 or something. Which one is given here? 8. Okay. So force in air is given as how much? 8. So instead of F air I am writing as 8. Divided by F medium means here what is the medium? Water. So I am writing here as F water. Okay. Is equal to dielectric constant of water. It is given here as 80. The question itself it is given. So it is equivalent to 80. So equals 80. So we can write cross multiplying FW into 80 equals 8. So from this we have to find which one? Force in water. That means FW equals 8 by 80 or we can write as 1 by 10 Newton. So this is the force between the point charges when kept in water. So when it is in air, what is the force of 8? So it is in water, what is the force? 1 by 10 Newton. Fifth problem, the opposite corners of a square carry capital Q charge and the other two opposite corners of the same square carry small q charge each. So here one square is drawn here and its opposite corners are having same charges. So here small q and here also capital Q and capital Q. So this opposite corners are having same charges in case of a square, and the square is having a side of x. So x is the side of the square, and if the resultant force acting on the small q charge, the resultant force acting on the small q charge is 0. So there is a condition given here. So if the resultant force acting on the small q charge is 0, then how this small q and capital Q is related? Okay. So given one square having a side x and its opposite corners are having same charges, then how will you find this diagonal? This diagonal of the square is given as diagonal equals. Okay. So when you are drawing a diagonal here, so this may be the hypotenuse. Okay, so hypotenuse square equal to base square plus altitude square, or hypotenuse equals, how will you write? Root of base square plus altitude square. That means root of base square. So what is the base here? X square plus altitude square. So that is also x square. So root of x square plus x square, that means it is equivalent to root of 2x square, or we can write as root 2 into x. So this root 2 into x is the distance, diagonal distance. Okay. So now it is given that the net force or the resultant force acting on this small q charge is 0. That means the force acting on this q charge due to this q as well as the force acting on this small q charge due to this capital Q charge and the force acting on this small q charge due to this q charge, the total will be how much? Only 0. The net force acting on the small q charge is 0. That is given here. Okay. So first of all, so let I am taking F1. F1 be the force acting on this small q charge due to this capital Q charge. And similarly, I am taking F2 as the force acting on this small q charge due to which one? This capital Q charge. But these two force may be same only. So what is the reason? Because here also distance is x. So here also distance x. And what about magnitude? Magnitude also same. So I am writing as F1 equals F2. Both are same. This F1 and F2 are the forces acting on this charge small q due to these two capital Q charges. That is equivalent to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into product of charges, that is capital Q into small q, divided by what is the distance? X. So x square. So this is the force acting on this small q charge due to these two capital Q charges. Then another one more charge is there, no? Small q. So next we have to find out the force acting on this small q charge due to another small q charge. Okay. That means I am taking that as F3. F3 equals 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into product of charges q into q, that means q square, divided by distance square, that means root 2x the whole square. That is equivalent to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q square divided by root 2x the whole square means 2. Root 2 square is 2x square. So this is F3. F3 is the force acting on the small q charge due to which one? This charge. Okay. Now here this F1 and F2. So this is F1 charge and F1 force and this is F2 force. And these two forces are acting perpendicular because what is the angle here? 90 degree. Okay. So how will you find the resultant of F1 and F2? So since both the forces are acting perpendicular, the resultant force of F1 and F2. Resultant force of F1 and F2. So F1 is the force acting on this small q charge due to this capital Q charge and F2 is the force acting on this small q charge due to this capital Q charge. But these two forces are acting perpendicular because what is the angle here? 90 degree. So in these conditions, how will you find net force? F equals root of F1 square plus F2 square. So since they are perpendicular, what is the formula? F equals root of F1 square plus F2 square. Actually formula is root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2 F1 F2 cos theta. But here cos theta means cos, what is the angle here? Cos 90. Cos 90 value is how much? 0. So that means that term will be cancelled. So we are having only how much? Root of F1 square plus F2 square. But we know that this F1 and F2 both are same. So instead of F2 I am writing simply as which one? Only F1 itself. So F1 square plus F1 square. That means root of 2 F1 square. Okay, or we can write root 2 F1. Okay, root 2 F1. Or we can write root 2 into what is F1? F1 formula is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into F1 is Q into Q divided by X square. So this is the resultant force between which all things? F1 and F2. Resultant force of F1 and F2 is how much? This one. Okay. And we have another one for F3. So F3 is the force acting on the small q charge due to this small q. But it is given that the net force acting on this small q charge is 0. That means this force, that is resultant force of F1 and F2 and this F3 must be equal and opposite. Then only they will be cancelling each other. So this F must be equal and opposite to which one? This F3. Then only both these forces will be cancelling each other. And net force acting will be how much here? 0. So we can write as, so since the net force is 0, since the net force on Q is 0, that means that this F resultant force of this F1 and F2 must be equal to which one? Minus F3. both will be equal and opposite. That means what is F here? F is root 2. F is root 2 into 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into q by x square equals minus what is F3? F3 is minus q square minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q square divided by 2x square. 2x square. These two are equal and opposite. This F is the resultant force between which all things F1 and F2, and this F3 is the force acting on this small q charge due to another one small q charge. Okay. Now we can cancel the equal terms. Okay. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, x square, then 1q and 1q cancel. So remain we have root 2 into q equals, so here we have q by 2. Okay. So from this we can write small q equals 2 root 2 into capital Q. So this is the relation connecting which one? Small q and capital Q charges. So what is the condition? So when the net force acting on this small charge is 0. Okay.